Inside a concrete fortress, a missile is propelled along a track by a glowing orange energy source, positioning it for launch. A missile launches from a forest silo, leaving a smoke trail. It separates, releasing a smaller, propeller-equipped projectile. The submunition flies towards a large building. At dusk, it impacts, causing a catastrophic explosion on the upper floor. Thick smoke billows from the wreckage. The view shifts, revealing 5 rectangular silo doors in a forest clearing. The launch close up on the reinforced silo doors. Pressurized steam erupts, shrouding the area in fog and signaling an imminent launch. Through the fog, another missile erupts with a blinding flash. The scene cuts back to the complex's intricate pipes and tunnel. The camera pans across a colossal, arched concrete tunnel. A central artery of massive black pipes stretches into the distance. The perspective shifts to a rapid first-person descent down a vast, dark vertical shaft with walls of industrial metal grating. Returning to the main tunnel, the camera circles the central pipe structure, revealing the blue paw print insignia at its base. A schematic shows the structure scale, 460 feet, or 140 meters. We then traverse it at height. In a narrower section, we observe another intricate pipe system. A faint blue glow emanates from within, starting an activate. Pulling back reveals the full installation. The pipes are mounted on a massive, inclined concrete slab, with on-screen The aerial view expands, updating dimensions to over 66 feet. The camera descends along the pipes before returning. Moving along the branching pipes, circular blue lenses within the apertures begin to glow, indicating the initial power-up phase. At the structure's articulated joints, small blue LEDs flash as digital light particles visualize the flow of energy. At the machine's base, a cylindrical blue energy rod is inserted into a slot, its glow initiating a critical mechanical process. An X-ray view shows the blue energy converting into a vibrant orange-yellow stream, surging up the central conduit and into the arms. The energy flow ends in a white flash. The system reactivates, and the apertures emit a steady blue ring, signifying a glowing blue energy cap materializes at a pipe's end. With a burst of black smoke, it's expelled, Returning to the launch structure, smoke clears to show active tubes. A pan reveals empty energy rod slots. A 3D graphic shows a precise adjustment as the angle increases to 50 degrees, positioning a large, black missile launcher. As the camera pulls back to reveal the vertical launcher, a blue beam of light sweeps down its length, performing a final systems scan. With the scan complete, the missile is slowly extended from its housing, tilting outward as it moves into position. Fully extended from the launcher, the missile hangs suspended. The background fades to black, isolating the weapon for a technical. On-screen graphics display the missile's initial specs: 8.2 feet and 198 pounds. The values then the cycling stops, locking in the final specs: 10.7 feet and 308 pounds. We then move in for zooming in on the tail, the exterior becomes transparent, revealing its internal propulsion structure illuminated in blue before a cross-section of the warhead reveals its complex inner workings: red propellant, a green payload, and a spring-loaded trigger. Focusing on the trigger, a blue energy pulse travels along the spring, causing it to compress and release, arming the next stage. The energy transfer triggers the main payload, which glows with intense orange-yellow light, simulating a detonation inside the warhead. The simulation concludes. The scene cuts to the real-world result: a massive, violent explosion against a black background. The fireball expands with orange flames and gray smoke. A text overlay specifies the payload: 55 pounds. The explosion implodes, revealing a sleek, metallic gray missile. Stabilizing fins deploy from its body. The fins lock into place. The camera travels along the missile, showing it mounted to a modular launch rail system. The journey continues along the launch system. The low camera angle emphasizes the sheer length and scale of the structure. Near the front of the missile, a set of mechanical clamps automatically open and retract, freeing the missile for ignition. At the rear, a ring of neon blue light illuminates the exhaust nozzle, flickering briefly in a pre-ignition systems check. An intense plume of golden fire erupts from the nozzle. The raw power of the engine is palpable with swirling plasma. As the missile accelerates, a cross-section shows a blue energy beam igniting a swirling stream of yellow liquid fuel. With the fuel ignited, the blue beam deactivates. A red-hot metallic pin extends into the combustion flow, regulating a blade of pure, swirling energy, glowing like molten lava, slowly retracts into an aged, dark metal. On a stark black background, a slow reveal showcases a long, polished cylindrical metal object, perhaps a projectile. Inside a bunker, a large bronze shell is loaded into a massive weapon. The camera follows it in, then pans up. Close-ups show the weapon's operation. A pin is withdrawn, a handle pulled, and a blue indicator light confirms it's active. Inside, the firing mechanism engages. A heavy spring is compressed, a slide moves, and locking lugs snap into place. The firing pin begins to glow with blue energy. The entire assembly moves forward, aiming its tip at the shell's primer. The pin strikes the primer. Instantly, an internal view shows a burst of fiery energy igniting the shell's propellant. A cutaway view reveals the result. A T-shaped core of pure yellow energy is propelled from the casing down the barrel. The energy core enters a central hub where multiple barrels converge, revealing a massive, multi-barreled weapon array. Viewed from above, the energy flows like luminous orange liquid from the core into each of the surrounding barrels. This shot focuses on another piping system. Within a Y-shaped junction, glowing orange bars indicate a massive energy. Moving higher, the full geometry is revealed. The glowing components form repeating X-shapes, extending down a vast. Pulling back, we see the entire system stretching far into the distance, as the scene cuts to another nighttime missile launch. The missile ascends into the sky. During its flight, various components are jettisoned as part of its staging process. The payload continues its terminal dive. A small propeller on its nose spins, arming the device before a blinding explosion. The scene shifts to a dimly lit space, peering through an aperture at a complex mechanical assembly of springs and rods. Pulling back, we see this is part of a larger, heavy-duty industrial gantry. A small green indicator light switches on. A slow retreat reveals more of the immense industrial gantry, a complex web of beams, walkways, and stairs. The camera continues pulling back, revealing the object's true, staggering scale. It is a colossal, tilted tower of a 3D schematic shows the massive gantry is central to a sprawling underground complex, 350 feet below the surface. We explore a 3D model of this subterranean facility, panning across levels and corridors. Text confirms its height is as the camera orbits the model 5 parallel. Inclined tunnels are highlighted in blue, constructed at a precise 50-degree angle. Zooming in, the schematic transitions to a detailed render. Inside each tunnel, a complex metal gantry system materialized. The camera ascends the inclined shafts to the surface, focusing on a bunker exit. Text indicates its height is 18 feet. An armored plate, nearly 8 inches thick, is lifted away. This reveals a detailed, weathered metal mechanism. The model zooms in, then transitions to a photo of the real artifact, the steel plates of the V3 cannon. Returning to the 3D model, the focus shifts to a long, horizontal tunnel, highlighted in blue 98 feet below the surface. The camera enters this tunnel. The view transitions to an internal rendering, revealing a small train running on tracks. Following the train, the camera pans to the side, revealing an arched doorway that leads into a darker, secondary passage. In the side tunnel, we find a rusted trolley cart. The model then blends into a photograph of the original artifact. The camera pulls back to reveal a complex 3D model of an underground tunnel network, rendered in pale blue. Continuing to pull back, the grander scale becomes apparent. A blue light travels through horizontal tunnels, highlighting a specific. The camera zooms into one tunnel, transitioning to a first-person perspective. The dark tunnel features tracks and a distant trolley. The camera moves slowly forward along the tracks, approaching the stationary trolley in the dim, industrial atmosphere. Returning to the 3D model, another part of the network, including a vertical shaft, glows blue, illustrating a different route. From an overhead perspective, a different group of parallel beams lights up, flashing on and off in a system check sequence. The camera zooms into a complex intersection. As shafts and tunnels glow blue, an X-ray effect reveals an elevator car. The highlighting fades, and the camera follows the elevator car's descent. A humorous schematic of a minion briefly appears. Focusing on a specific room, an X-ray view reveals an industrial engine, then transitions to real footage of the artifact. The camera orbits another small room. A transparent effect reveals the detailed interior of a workshop with shelves and equipment. The camera slowly zooms out from an intersection in the 3D model, revealing more of the intersecting tunnel network. As the camera pulls back, a section of the tunnel system glows, highlighting a curved path and 4 connected rectangular chambers. The interior of the 4 glowing rooms is revealed, containing detailed grids of objects, possibly server racks or seating. Pulling out further, the full, immense scale of the underground complex is showcased. Blue lights highlight key vertical shafts. The camera angle shifts towards a lower section. The vertical lights fade, and a single blue orb appears on a long ramp. The camera follows the blue orb down the ramp as a graphic appears, indicating its depth at 203 feet, or 62 meters. Shifting to a low angle, the camera now looks up at the main structure, panning across a complex network of support beams. Continuing the low-angle pan, another depth indicator appears, measuring a deeper section at 350 feet, or 100. As the camera pans, the simple blue schematic model begins to transform, resolving into a far more detailed and realistic rendering. The pan finishes on this hyper-detailed structure, a dense and complex web of metallic beams, platforms, and mechanical. 3 massive, intricate metal gantries are illuminated by a cool blue light. The camera pans right, focusing on the center. The camera centers on the right-hand structure, an industrial elevator system. It begins to zoom in and track downwards. Transitioning to a wireframe view, an elevator car, highlighted in neon blue, descends along the interior rails of the view returns to realistic. The camera angle shifts low, looking up at large industrial pipes as it moves slowly forward. Close to a pipe opening, some debris falls out. Then, a cylindrical green object is inserted, suggesting a loading. The camera pulls back, showing the row of pipes and gantry. It then travels downward, gliding past the metal grating floors. Continuing its descent, the camera flies past the gantry floors, tilting down to show the structure extends to a floor far below. The focus shifts to the bottom of the pipes, where they terminate in a complex mechanical assembly resembling a gun breech. Moving up from below, the camera glides along one of the loading mechanisms, showcasing its metallic parts and intricate pistons. The camera focuses on a warning light mounted on a steel beam. Initially red, it flashes and turns green. From a glowing green emergency light, the camera pans up, revealing a complex gantry with large, dark cylinders and continuing its ascent. The camera pulls back for a wider view of the angled metal structure housed within a massive concrete chamber. The camera zooms out further. Text appears, indicating a cycle time of 5 minutes and 24h/day. As the text fades, the realistic view transitions into a 3D blueprint schematic, making the structures translucent blue. In blueprint mode, the camera reveals the main structure connects to a network of tunnels. Text indicates a capacity of 1,200. The camera continues across the blueprint, zooming in on a rectangular storage chamber which gradually resolves into a detailed view. Inside the rendered storage bunker, we see crates and fuel cylinders. Text specifies 50 rounds and 3,200. Now fully in the realistic rendering, the camera follows a small trolley as it moves along tracks toward a doorway. The camera closely follows the trolley as it travels deep into the long, dimly lit concrete tunnel towards another trolley. The trolley approaches and stops at a loading area next to a much larger train car, indicating a logistics transfer point. A train, loaded with military green crates, begins to move into a dark concrete tunnel, creating a clandestine atmosphere. As the train proceeds, the scene transitions into a 3D architectural blueprint of the tunnel's internal support structure. The camera passes through a complex structure before shifting to a view from the bottom of a narrow vertical shaft, slowly ascending. The smooth ascent continues up the deep industrial shaft, emphasizing its endless height and the repeating patterns of utility conduit. The scene shifts to a heavy, metal silo door in a forest, venting steam. The camera pulls back, revealing it as smoke clears, for heavy bombers appear. The shot cuts to a view from beneath one plane as its bomb bay doors open. From the open bay, a large bomb is released. The camera follows its fall, then cuts to a massive, fiery explosion. The view returns to the intricate 3D architectural drawing of the underground facility, panning and rotating around the translucent model. The camera orbits the 3D blueprint, then overlays a textured, realistic model, showing ladders running along giant. A quick shot descends a dark shaft, transitioning to a night view of the silo door, then tilts up to bombers overhead. Two propeller-driven bombers fly through an overcast sky. The scene cuts to a dark tunnel, which suddenly explodes. An abstract view emerges from a superheated gun barrel, transitioning to grainy, archival footage of the V3. Archival footage continues with a photo of the V3 on a hillside, then a shot of two American soldiers beside a tall projectile. The historical footage transitions to a 3D animation of a similar projectile soaring through a blue, cloud-filled sky. The 3D projectile flies towards a town, slamming into a building and shattering the wall before passing through it. After passing through the building, the projectile hits the ground near a bridge, creating a large explosion of fire and smoke. An overhead view descends through clouds, revealing a site with numerous rectangular concrete structures built into excavated pits. The camera glides over the military site, revealing a long line of identical bunkers. Several bomb craters are visible. The shot cuts back inside a long, dark concrete tunnel. The camera moves forward along railway tracks, passing arched doorway. The camera continues its relentless journey deeper into the dark tunnel until the space grows dim and is enveloped in blackness. In a dark, dilapidated tunnel, the camera moves along a railway track, revealing the damaged, arched structure. Continuing through the tunnel, the view passes into an armory. Rows of large, green bombs and crates are stacked along the tracks. The journey ends in a larger area with a complex metal structure, likely an elevator, with active green indicator lights. A top-down view shows a massive, rusted metal silo door set into the earth. The camera slowly pulls back. A small explosion flashes on the door's central rail. This is followed by a massive detonation that engulfs the entire door. In the aftermath, the camera looks down into a deep crater, then pans to reveal a long fissure created in the earth. The camera flies over the desolate landscape, then rapidly descends into another crater, revealing a collapsed tunnel entrance. Inside a bunker, a long, black kinetic penetrator is lifted from its rack, rising and rotating to showcase its. A tank is hit by an explosion. The penetrator's outer casing shatters, revealing an inner core as debris flies through the air. The sleek, metallic inner core flies at high speed across a desert towards another tank, resulting in a fiery explosion. A 3D animation shows a slender missile being loaded into a complex launch system, moving along a rail into position. A silo door opens at night, and the missile is launched. The camera follows its ascent until it vanishes in the sky. The scene cuts to a massive explosion on a city street. A huge fireball erupts, and a nearby building begins to crumble. The explosion continues to ravage the building. The scene shifts to a first-person perspective, moving rapidly on a railway track. The first-person journey continues along the railway through a forest, approaching a collapsed tunnel entrance blocked by boulders. As the camera nears the collapsed entrance, the boulders magically clear, revealing a modern tunnel which the camera enters. The view transitions to real footage inside a long, dark tunnel. Text identifies the location as the fortress of Mimoyek. The camera moves through the museum corridor. The walls are a mix of concrete and rock, illuminated by an eerie green light. The final shots display static images of memorials for the forced laborers and the Allied bomber crews inside the museum.
Forced laborers.